Hello. In today's video, I will talk about the Maiden of Pentacles. So, how I understand this card is, for one, we are still in the court. And so we are dealing with people. It could be the querent or someone in the querent's life. Kind of like a main person in the querent's life, someone coming or going out of the querent's life. However they're presenting, it's going to be a person, and it's going to represent a person. We're dealing with the maidens, and so how I understand them is we're dealing with young, feminine energy. Of course, again, I have replaced the page with the maiden. The page is often dealing with young energy, childish energy, and the way that this deck came to me was that I needed to talk about, rather than talking about this energy as like young or childlike, I needed to talk about it from like this masculine, feminine perspective. Excuse me. And so my deck is going to represent the pages or the maidens as this feminine, young feminine energy. And so again, my deck is going to talk about that aspect of, these energies and how they manifest. So we're talking about a young woman. It could be a girl. It could be an adolescent. But the energy is the kind of energy that's young and fresh and not fully settled. It's going to be like, she's coming into her womanhood, or she's coming into her girlhood. She's kind of freshly coming into the energy. And so she hasn't yet mastered it, and she hasn't yet, figured out how to use it to her best advantage or anything like that. She's kind of fresh with this energy. This particular energy we're talking about in the Buddha families, it would be the energy of Ratna. The element is the earth, and the color is yellow or gold. The basic quality of this energy is like abundance and generosity. Equanimity, there's like this kind of, it's like representing the earth and the sun, and like this kind of, it's a very grounded energy. It is the ground. And so, it's dealing with kind of like this, it's kind of a heavy energy with a lot of substance to it. When I think about this card in particular, I think about how she's going to be a young woman who is radiant, beautiful. She's going to be radiant. She's going to be generous. She's going to be the kind of person who she's open. She has this, like, in her presence, you'll probably feel her beauty and radiance coming just kind of from within, kind of spewing out of her. And again, because she's kind of young, she doesn't fully grasp the power of that energy within her. And so she's going to maybe be a little bit out of touch with how powerful her energy is and how beautiful she actually is. In her reversed state, she is going to be dealing with gluttony. She's going to be very consumeristic, and she's going to be wasteful. She's going to be the kind of young woman who buys and accumulates a lot of material things. And she's not going to be the one who's looking for a bargain. She's not going to be shopping in like a thrift store. She's going to pay top dollar for her things. And her things are going to be very nice things, and she's going to have a lot of them. She might be the kind of young woman who has a closet full of clothes and she's worn 10% of those clothes, but she has this need to continue buying and accumulating more and more things. And so in her reverse state, she's often associated with gluttony, or she's wasteful or consumeristic or materialistic, or those kinds of qualities would be associated with her. This is one of the cards that was, at the end of design, was very difficult for me in terms of trying to get her, as she was expressing herself in electronic form, to get that to match what the printer could print. And there were a few cards that were difficult in this regard because the skin color was overshadowing the facial features once it went into print. And so one of the most difficult things about this card was trying to keep the integrity of how she was trying to show up on the card once it goes to print. And so there was, in the very beginning of working with my printer, a lot of back and forth in trying to preserve her color. I don't have like this explanation for why she needed to show up the way she did. It was one of the cards that felt like it was speaking to me and through me, and she was manifesting through me. And so things that were really important for her were like things like her hair and her color. She felt like she needed to be like a really rich kind of brown color. Her hair felt like it needed to be, you know, thick and natural and like show that kind of aspect of this young woman. Whereas in the last card, I was talking about the difficulty of like, okay, I had to try and figure out what she was wearing. For this card, the thing that was like so important was trying to show her skin color, show this dark brown skin color and have it work once the card went to print. I feel like that's all I'd like to say about her for now. In the next video, I will talk about the Maiden of Wands. I look forward to sharing that video with you soon. Thank you so much for joining me.